Okay, I think we can start now. It's already 3.
Perfect. Okay. So, hello and welcome everyone to today's live stream with Uni Experts. I'm Shanice Francis from EU Business School. I'm the Regional Recruitment Manager, and I've been working with EU Business School now for 5 years, and with you, the team of Uni Experts, now for over a year. And it's been a great experience working with the counselors and students from Uni Experts, some of them who are already in Munich and other parts of Europe as well. So I'm here to talk about two different things today. One is I will be talking about advantages of going to Germany as a country. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to be very upfront and honest with you about all my facts regarding Germany that I know of, that I've heard of from students. And then I'm going to go a little bit into EU Business School as an institution that has a campus in Munich, in Germany. So I'm going to start with a short presentation. I'll just give you a little bit background about EU Business School before I jump into Germany as a country itself. This is going to be purely a German-centric, presentation in terms of where we're located. So EU Business School was started in 1973, and we've been around for more than 50 years. So we completed 50 years in the education industry this year. So we've been around for a really long time. We do have three physical campuses across Europe. So we have the Barcelona campus in Spain, we have the Geneva campus in Switzerland, and we have the Munich campus in Germany. We also have the presence of a digital campus, wherein some of our students within the age groups of 27 to 35 decide to do their programs digitally while they continue working, or some of our students start their program digitally and then move on to campus as well. But has promised, I'm going to talk a lot about Germany. So let's start with the map of Germany. So Germany, we've basically highlighted a few cities that are very prominent in Germany. Right from, you have Hamburg, which is in the south. You have Berlin, which is, sorry, in the north. Sorry, Hamburg in the north. You have Berlin, which is in the east, in the northeast region. You have Frankfurt, which is to the west of Germany, and then you have Munich, which is really down south. What does it tell you about the location? Really, I know for a fact that Berlin is known as the windy city. I have visited Berlin, and it is in fact very windy as compared to other cities in Germany. It's got a cold climate, especially in the winter. Frankfurt has a moderate climate. It's to the west of Germany, so it's got a moderate climate. And Munich is slightly warmer than Berlin in the winters, but still, even though it's in Germany, um, even because it's in Germany, you have cold winters that can go down to about -5 or -10 as well, depending on how harsh or how good the winter is. But it also has a lot of, you obviously have a change of industries, or, different companies located in different locations as well, and a lot of economic strength. So when we talk about economy, we talk about one of the largest economies in Europe. So Germany as a whole has the largest economy in Europe. Even in 2008, when we had the crisis, Germany emerged as a leading power in Europe. And it's the fourth worldwide. So it is definitely a major economic hub. We've got the lowest unemployment rates. So Munich specifically has one of the lowest unemployment rates in Germany, followed by Berlin and Frankfurt as well. So you've got unemployment rates that range anywhere from 4% to 12% at this point in time. Again, depending on which industry you're going into as well. But when people think about industries and they think about Germany, a lot of students come to me and they say, I'm going into a business background, but from what I hear, Germany is a technical, is a lot about the technical sector. So I'm like, hold on, have you heard about the industries in Germany? There's the automobile industry, which is booming right now. There's the healthcare industry. There's the technology industry as well. Like one of our students, I remember talking to him, and he's been in Germany for a good 3-4 years now. But during his second year, he managed to get a job, and he was installing 5G network towers across Munich, and he completed with us with a management degree. So that is really the array that Germany can give you. There's infrastructure, there's chemistry, there's obviously the management side of it. what is very important for you as students to understand is that yes, there are these technical, healthcare, automobile industries as well, but at the same time there is a management side to all these companies, be it BMW, be it Allianz, Siemens, Apple, for example, or even Amazon. You also have to have a management side to all of this. Each of these companies require finance department, require a human resource department. They require, international relations in terms of the corporate social responsibility sector as well. And these are just a few examples of the way companies function. You have Allianz, which is an insurance firm, and definitely all these companies do have a management side, which is very, very important. You've got a good entrepreneurship boost as well. So there are a lot of people that decide to start their own companies, and there are a lot of small to medium sized enterprises as well in Germany, which gives a lot of our students scope to find jobs a lot easier. There are the multinational corporations, which a lot of students aim for, but there are also small and medium sized industries or companies that are really worth giving a shot at when you look at following, or getting a job in Germany. So I wasn't even aware until a month ago, until I spoke to one of my current students. And if any of you all have heard of the brand Farfetch, Germany has an equivalent of Farfetch, which deals with e-commerce of luxury goods. You're talking about like a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci or an MS. You're talking about the bags, shoes, Gap, all of that being sold. And Germany has an equivalent of Farfetch, which is one of the biggest, and it's called My Teresa. So she started working there with a student working contract, in the inventory department. And fortunately for her, her job was purely in English. Right. When I come to the languages, we a lot of institutions in Germany do provide at least an A1 and A2 German language class, which is included into the program, because German is important. You're going to a country that has its own national language. So there are a lot of people that speak English, but when it comes to a working environment, we really encourage students to learn German as a language, so that when you go out there and you're looking for a job, and if you want a job at a fast pace within the first 6 months after graduation, first 6 months after graduation, an HR representative needs to say a good mixture of English and German onto your CV. There are some companies that operate purely in English. For example, we have the series called Learning from Leaders series, and I'll get to that in a minute. But we had an HR executive that came onto campus and was talking to our students, and she told our students that she was the ex HR executive for Flixbus. Flixbus is one of the biggest bus transportation companies across Europe for personal travel. For people to travel from one city to the other or one country to the other, and they have one of their biggest offices in Germany as well. And since 2020, they have been operating purely in English. There's no German required. So there are niche companies like this which you have to target, not only companies that you've heard of in India, but European companies that are very well based out of Europe, that do offer privileges of working only in English. But to be on the safe side, we do encourage students to learn at least an A1 and A2 German language, so that it's easier to for you to find a job once you complete your program at EU. So I'm going to touch a little bit upon Munich itself, because it is where my campus is located out of, and it is a very, very beautiful city. So you've got the city center, which has the cathedral over here, and you have a lot of cafes, a lot of restaurants, a lot of shopping. I would say shopping malls around the area. They're not really big when you think about like Indian shopping malls, or for example the UAE shopping malls. You can't compare it to that, but you have all the stores lined up along these two roads as well as over here. So it is a place which is really buzzing throughout the week, at any given time, because of the people that come to probably have a coffee and enjoy, people just glancing at life go by, or people that come to shop and pick up their essentials, or for example if they want to just go out on a shopping spree as well. We have the Allianz Arena, so anyone really looking at football, it's a really good place to be because of the FC Bayern Munich stadium and the team as well. So a lot of people go over the weekends, either Friday or Saturday, or even Sunday. There are definitely matches held at the stadium, so it's a really interesting place to go and enjoy your team. We have the Oktoberfest. So the great part about our campus is that the Oktoberfest happens right opposite our campus. So if for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it is actually one of the biggest beer drinking festivals in Europe, and it attracts about 5 to 7 million people every year into the city of Munich as tourists that come for 2 weeks, take in the German culture, the German food, and of course the German beer as well. As you can see, a lot of the ladies around here are dressed up in traditional wear. The men do dress up as well, but I think there's no picture of that over here. But yeah, Munich does have a lot of the beer halls that are very famous in Germany. Munich has is one of the tier 1 cities that have a lot of the beer halls as well. Fun fact is that this Oktoberfest actually takes about 2 to 3 months to set up and about 2 months to be dismantled. It's just a 2 week program, but the time and effort taken to put it up and to dismantle it is a lot. Then you also have beaches in Munich that are flowing by the river. You have the English Gardens, which is bigger than Central Park in New York, and a lot of people like to go out there on a sunny day and hang out. The weather is, I wouldn't say it's always sunny. Obviously, you have some days where it's going to be rainy, it's going to be wet and cold, but a lot of the days in Munich are definitely sunny as well. And then you have the summers that can even touch about 38 to 40 degrees. So yeah, I've spoken a lot about Munich as a city, about the economy of the city being really great in terms of the low unemployment rates, and also Munich being termed as a Silicon Valley of Germany. So because of the number of European companies, the headquarters of European companies based out of Munich, as well as the low unemployment rate, as well as the GDP that has contributed towards the German economy, Munich has been termed as the Silicon Valley of Germany. So career services are definitely, every institution in Europe or in Germany is going to help you sort of look for a job. There is what we call placement support. And we as an institution, EU Business School as an institution, does have two career counselors that are on campus daily. They also have classes with our students once a week, and during these classes, they're focused on a CV, a cover letter, which is a general CV or a cover letter. And then as you keep applying for jobs, the CVs and the cover letters will be tweaked according to the different jobs that you're applying to. So we really look at a lot of placement support with a 30-second elevator pitch. We're looking at LinkedIn profiles being updated, looking at different sites for jobs, doing mock-up job interviews as well. So that's the best way we can help our students. Then once students get the interview, obviously it is their job to ace it with the mock-up job interviews, that where they get their practice as well. We have a lot of connections. So we've been around for 50 years, and we've got over 32,000 alumni as well in our alumni network. And you can feel free to reach out to any one of them when you're applying for a job, and ask them to put in a reference for you, which is really great. And this is where you get to interact with these kind of people at what we call the business immersion week. So the business immersion week runs for 5 days, right from Monday to Friday. It's during your program, so you're not going to be missing out on any classes because it's part of your timetable. And you will have 5 days of continuous evaluation or continuous networking events. So, like, let's say for the first day, the agenda is that there are HR executives from different companies that come onto campus to talk to our students and to tell them about the job offers or either the internship offers. The second day, we'll have the alumni coming onto campus in in a roundtable conference where they will be talking about what their journey was like after graduating from EU Business School. How did they find their job? Are they still with that job or have they switched jobs? They will tell you about all of their experiences throughout this roundtable. Then we have the Learning from Leaders series where we have CEOs, directors, managers of different companies coming onto campus to talk to us students, and to make their connections with them, and connect with them on LinkedIn as well. So it becomes easier at a later stage when you're applying for jobs in a company. At least you have a reference that is already ready. We also have a job portal which is called the Job Teaser website. As of last year, we had about 400 jobs posted on that website. Plus, we have the third party websites like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, where you as students can also search for jobs. So I don't know if there is a comment box, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. While we're in the session, so we can have a little bit of a Q&A at the end, if that is possible. I'm happy to share with you.
Shanice, can I ask you something? So you have
Yes,
talked a lot about Munich. So
yes.
sometimes the students will ask, they will make a comparison of Berlin with Munich. So what are points we can highlight for Munich as a city?
Correct. Yeah. So, some of I didn't want to really distinguish. You have a very good point out there, and you, Amala, would know it better than anyone else that there's always a comparison drawn out between these two cities, being Berlin and Munich. And students will come to me also, ma'am, and say, "Ma'am, why should we choose Munich over Berlin?" So, to put it straight out there and to really give you a very unfiltered answer is to say that the one thing that strikes out between Munich and Berlin is really the price difference, right? Berlin is always perceived as a cheaper city, especially when it comes to the rent. When we're talking about groceries, always remember that if a bottle of water costs €2 in Berlin, it will cost €2 in Munich. So there, in terms of groceries and essentials, there's no really real difference between the two cities. But when it comes to rent, there is a difference, right? So Berlin was always known as a place where you get really cheap accommodation, like €500. Munich, the starting for a shared accommodation would be about €700. But in recent times, that has also changed. So Berlin, because of the influx of people, there has been an increased supply. There has been an increase, sorry, demand for housing, and the supply still remains the same. So yes, Berlin rent prices are also going up. Munich has always been on the higher end. But to answer that question in terms of the pricing perspective or the price point from a rent perspective, because we're so centrally located, we have three residences which are in the vicinity of the institution, where you as students can either get a shared accommodation, which is approximately about €700, and a private accommodation, which is approximately €900. Okay, the good thing is that Munich, because they've always have the higher rent, the further away you move from the campus, maybe about 20-40 minutes away from the campus, the cheaper the accommodation can get. But my word of advice to students is that if you get accommodation within the 7 to 800 range, at least for the first semester, take it. And then obviously students tend to change and go into cheaper accommodations after they complete that one semester, or as and when they get their flats ready. So the price point is definitely one. The second point that I would like to talk about is economically speaking. Economically speaking, I touched upon the fact of the unemployment rate. So you're looking at a really low unemployment rate in Munich, which is approximately about 4%, as compared to Berlin, which is about 9 to 12% at this point in time. So you're looking at a slight difference in terms of the unemployment rate as well. And the third thing is really the salaries, because Munich has a slightly higher standard of living. The basic average salary for a beginner would be approximately about 2,800 to €3,000. And with Berlin, it falls a bit to about 2,000 to €2,300 per month. This is obviously considering that you have a bachelor student who's freshly graduated from college, no work experience, or you have a master's student that has had no work experience prior. These are the starting salaries that you get. From a net perspective, from a gross perspective, it's different, because then you're deducting taxes before, after you get to the net, which is approximately about 2,800 to €3,000. So that would be my three major points to
So
distinguish Munich.
what in terms of transportation?
Mm, yeah, so Berlin, I've visited both these cities, to be honest, because there's always been a comparison drawn up, and I'm happy that from my real life experience, I can tell students about it as well. So Berlin, there are a lot of cycles and bikes that are used. They're very very particular about their cycling tracks in Berlin, and that's the mode of transport that is used across the city. Or you obviously have cars, but as students, I know a lot of students don't want to drive internationally or don't want to hire a car to increase their expenses. So there are trams, there is the metro line as well, and there are cycles that can be rented out for an hour or for the day, for example. So those are three options from a Berlin standpoint. From a Munich standpoint, you have three methods, which is the U-Bahn, which is the underground metro station, very well connected city, tram system, and then the buses. So what students can do is that once they get onto campus, they can apply for a 365-day pass, which will cost them 365 euros. So yeah, so the connections in Munich are really good. I really enjoyed using the metro system. It was very very easy to understand. It was not too complicated. It was not overcrowded. And they just have the capacity for everyone. So all in all, I would say yes, this is basically the transport systems in both the different cities.
Okay. As Munich is considered as the Silicon Valley or IT hub of Germany, so in which all stream, I mean, particularly from IT sector, which all stream is booming there, like
So
data science? What?
sorry, could you repeat the last part?
So it's already we had a discussion that it's known as the Silicon Valley or the IT hub of Germany. So when Munich from the IT sector, which all stream is booming there? Like which one? Like
Yes.
networking, data science, or AI, or which one?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Amala, in terms of the sectors, if I take you back to that slide, we're really looking at different sectors like the automobile, the healthcare, the technology, the infrastructure side of it. We're looking at development side of it, chemistry, as well as data science, as you rightly mentioned. But each of these companies do have a management side, and that is what our students are really looking at. You're looking at working in the management side of these technical firms as well. So you do have a very big marketing industry, you have an HR sector, you have a finance sector as well that students can get into. And of course, all these courses have their niche opportunities as well, which students can go for, even if they do not belong to one of the main sectors like automobile or or healthcare or chemistry or data science, for example.
All right. Thank you, Shanice.
You're welcome.
So
So yeah, we've
moving.
gone over the career services. We're also going to be talking about where our students come from, basically the diversity on campus. We're very well known for our diversity on campus. So just in a nutshell, to tell you that we had about 107 different nationalities that entered onto campus in January 2023, because that's when we have our intake as well. A lot of students from the Russian and CIS countries, Europe itself, the US, Middle East, Asia, and other regions across the world as well, where our students come from. So we have various rankings. We have, the 42nd ranking according to QS European MBA ranking. I'm not reading that wrong, but the 43rd ranking, unfortunately, is the statistics for 2021. According to the 2022 rankings, we rank 42nd in Europe. We also have a 4-star ranking in terms of the upliftment of salary post completion of the program. So within a year of graduating, students will get their ROI, as well as they will be earning double or 4 times the salary that they were earning if they were in their home country, or if they've worked in their home country, they will get double or triple of the salary than as compared to what they were earning in their home country. So yeah, these are some of the rankings. As I mentioned, we have the learning from leaders series, which is something that is really look forward, our students really look forward to it, as well as they're very interesting sessions with a lot of CEOs, chairmen, co-board members of different companies. So we had Andre Hoffman, who's the vice chairman of Hoffman LaRoche. You had Jason Yu, CEO, which is Lim Yu. John Claude Beaver, who is chairman of Hublot and Zenith Watches, and he's also the president and on the board of directors for the LVMH Group. So the LVMH Group basically is the Louis Vuitton, Hublot and the Zenith Watches Group. The ex-CEO of Doha Bank, Dr. Raman Sitharaman, as well, coming onto campus. Jim Snab, who's the chairman of Siemens and Merckx, as well, coming onto students, talking about coming onto campus, talking to students about their life, their career, how they started, how the company is doing, what you really need to do as students to get into company. So these are really very encouraging sessions for students that I really recommend all of them to join, because it's not compulsory. Then students tend to take it in their own hands and not join as well. Sorry, my network is glitching, so I'm just gonna put my camera off for a few. Um, oops, a second. Yeah, so there are a couple of reasons why students choose to study at EU Business School. One is a very international community, has I stressed upon, which is you have students from different diversities. We're looking at very small class sizes, so a maximum class size of 30 students as well. Wherein we have a very interactive session with our professors, and our professors are working professionals, and that's what we call experiential business learning, where we have professors who are either working in the industry, or they're consulting firms, or they own their own private firms. We also have a very pragmatic approach to studying, in terms of how we assess students on what they've learned in class. So we have a lot of case studies, a lot of presentations, a lot of debates as well. And all of this really terms up and calculates, and sort of creates a total grade for each and every student. Our courses are all taught in English. We have, right from our foundations courses to bachelor's, master's, MBA, all our courses are conducted in English. The rankings we've already gone through. Building a business personality is something that we look at through the Learning from Leaders series. For example, company visits to different companies. We have about 50 annual visits to different companies as well. And we have a few exchange programs among the campus as well. So students can transfer between, let's say, Munich to Barcelona, or Barcelona to Geneva. That's always an option, since we have three separate campuses across Europe. In terms of our bachelor programs, it's 3 year program with 6 semesters. A lot of students obviously look forward to the masters or MBA programs, but there are some students that look out for a bachelor's program, which I think makes a lot of sense, because as students, when you look at attempting a bachelor's, you're all of 18. You're very flexible in terms of the way you think, and the way you settle into a place. It's a seamless process. So bachelor's is definitely a great option if you want to go for it, from your first to your third year of your bachelor's. So you have the bachelor's in business administration, which is a general management course, and you have all the management courses, right from the start to the depth of the course. Or as students, you can choose any of these one specialization, 6 specializations, post which you can also go on to the masters or the MBA program. So we have different specializations like communications and PR, leisure and tourism management, sports management, digital business, business finance. So these are bachelor degrees that are awarded by the University of UCAM, which is a Spanish accredited program in offered at the Munich campus in Germany. And then we have, the BA Honors in Business Management, which is a program offered with the University of Derby, wherein we have a few techno management courses like supply chain and logistics, business technology, HR management, or enterprise. And lastly, we have the third program, which is the BA Honors in Business, which is a dual degree with Dublin Business School and EU Business School, wherein you have a few specializations like business law, cloud computing, and information systems. Currently, we have 4 different intakes for these programs. We have the October intake, the February, the June, and the August intake. So one more intake remaining for 2023, which is October, since August is too late now. And we have three intakes for next year, 2024, which will be the February, June, and August intake. We have a few foundation programs, but this is only if your grades as students are very low, or if the IELTS score is below 6 overall. We also have the very interesting master. Yes, please go
Shanice,
ahead.
can I ask you something about the foundation program? If a student has low marks or low IELTS, so if we have given them this foundation course, will the visa be affected?
No, not at all. So we have not had many foundations programs in the last, I would say, 1 year, because a lot of students are doing
Okay.
fabulously well on their IELTS with a 6 overall, for example. But if a student
Yeah.
has, let's say, a 5.5 overall in their IELTS, he or she will need to go to either the English Foundations program before the MBA, or the Business Bridging program before the bachelor's. This is only a one semester program which has about 13 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So the option, if a student gets below, sorry, could you repeat your question?
yeah, you're audible. So immediately after completing this, the student can, I mean, can start the bachelor's, or is there any requirement for that, for entering to this bachelor's after the foundation?
No, no. In fact, if a student has got a 5.5 and is really keen on EU Business School, we have the foundations plus the major program, which is either bachelor's, master's, or MBA. And we provide the offer letter to the student in such a way saying that post completion of the foundations program, you can move directly into the bachelor's or master's or MBA program, depending on whether he or she has done their 12th grade last or their bachelor's last.
Okay. Is there any eligibility test after this foundation to step into the bachelor's
No,
program?
no, no. It's an automatic transfer into the main program.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have
Let's
three different.
move on to the next.
Yes, can you see my screen with the masters and the MBA?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Clear.
So we have the masters and the MBA programs which are also available. The masters program is a specialization focused program. Except for the management, which has all general management courses, your specialization focused courses like tourism and hospitality management, finance, digital business, fashion and luxury business, or business analytics and data science as well. It's a 1 year program with 3 semesters. Same with the MBA 1 year program, 3 semesters. The difference between the MBA and the masters is that the MBA is a 1 year program with 3 semesters, wherein the first 2 semesters are general management courses, and in the last semester, you as students can choose one of the specializations, either entrepreneurship or digital business, sports management, blockchain management, or even human resource management. So one of these 10 specializations can be chosen while the program is on. We obviously need a specialization to put down your application first, but if there are any changes later on, we can do that. The MBA with Pathways is a dual degree program with Dublin Business School, and we have a pathway of project management which is open up for the October 2023 intake. Okay, moving on, we have the admission requirements. So for the bachelor and for the masters, it's almost similar. The two differences I would say is, obviously for the bachelor's program we need only the 12th grade mark sheets, and the TOEFL score for bachelor's would be 80 overall and 6 overall in IELTS. But for an MBA program we require the bachelor, at least the provisional degree and mark sheets, proof of English proficiency, which would be the TOEFL 89 or IELTS 6.5. If this case is strong and there is a 6 overall, we can also accept that. Along with this, there will be an admissions interview that will be conducted by me. A copy of the CV, 2 letters of recommendation, a written or video essay, and an application fee that also needs to be settled. Oops, sorry.
You will
So we,
consider only the overall score of the English language requirement, right?
sorry,
It
Amala,
will
you were
still,
breaking up.
you will consider only the overall score. So even
Yes,
if
we
the
were.
individual score is 5 points, you will consider that, right?
Yeah, so if the overall score is 5.5, then we will have to go in for the foundations program, or the student can re-give the IELTS or TOEFL. There are two options. Okay.
Okay.
In With the with the admission requirements as well, we can also accept the IELTS registration.
Okay. Suppose if a student is having overall 6 with 5.5 in individual module, will that student be considered? I think there is some network connection. Sorry, there is some network connection automation needs. So she will be back soon. Is that fine, Shemens?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Can you still see
You
my
can
screen,
continue.
the tuition fees?
Yes, yes, it's
Okay,
clear.
great. So with the bachelor's program, just specifying on the tuition fees, here we have 13,500. All the tuition fees mentioned over here are for the year. For bachelor's, of course, it includes only 2 semesters, which is 13,500, approximately about 11 and a half lakhs. For the masters, it's 15,600, which is approximately about 13 and a half lakhs. And for the MBA, it's about 21,900 euros, approximately about 19 lakhs. So this is the tuition fee structure for the bachelor's, the master's, and the MBA program. We also have scholarships. There is a slight error. Let me see if I can edit this out. We have a 5% scholarship. Okay, got it edited out. Okay, so we are in the month of June, and we have a few scholarships that are still available. So the merit-based scholarship, we have about 6 slots available currently, wherein you as a student can get up to 30% off on the tuition fees, which will be for the first semester only. If at all you decide to go, and if you want the same scholarship on the second semester, you will need to maintain a GPA of 3.7 on 4 in the first semester of your studies. So the requirements are slightly high for the merit-based scholarship, being the 3.7 on 4 GPA, IELTS score of 6.5 for bachelor's, and for the MBA we require a 7 overall as well. A scholarship essay as well as a Skype interview that is required. The early bird scholarship for June 2023 comes to an end on 30th of June. And if you apply before that, you can get a 5% discount on the entire tuition fee. And this discount will be deducted from the third semester. The ambassador program, each representative has two, so I still have my two remaining. I'm still looking out for the perfect fit for this role, but you get a 2,000 euro, program, the ambassador program scholarship, which will be deducted from your third semester. The requirements are slightly low from an academic perspective because students require a GPA of only 2.5 on 4, and the IELTS will be 6.5 for bachelor students and 7 for master students, as followed by either by a scholarship essay and a Skype interview. So that's the scholarships. And lastly, we have the study modalities that we would like to focus on, because of during the pandemic, a lot of students had faced a lot of visa delays, and that's why we came up with 3 different study modalities. One is on campus, wherein you as a student get your visa on time and start your program as well on campus in person. The second option is online, where you join your classes online or virtually, as we call it. And then once you get your visa in hand, you can definitely fly to Munich as well, and continue classes. Hybrid is that's what I'm explaining to you. So hybrid is where students would start online and move to on campus. Once they get their visa, this is just in case of a visa delay. Okay, since we're talking about visas, one thing that I would like to inform you about is that in November 2022, a lot of things changed for us from a visa perspective. So there was, a document verification process called APS that was launched in the market, and the APS is, one second, I'm just trying to get my camera to work. Just a second. Okay. So yeah, so the APS is definitely something that students are a little worried about because of the time frame that it can take to get this certificate which verifies documents. But we as an institution, because we have the a Spanish degree that we offer at EU Business School in Munich. We do not require an APS or the test AS to process the application from an admissions criteria or even from a visa criteria. What is, just four simple facts in your mind, I think a takeaway is that in November 2023, the APS was launched along with three other modifications. So, modification number one was that you have to verify your documents with the APS office in New Delhi. Until you get that certificate, you can't apply for a visa. So, we do not require that.
Honestly, your
Yes,
voice is breaking.
my voice is breaking. I'll
Srinivas,
put off
your voice is breaking.
my camera has to be off in that case. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Let's.
there's a question from a student that will you accept MOI?
No, we cannot accept the MOI anymore. As Amala, as you know as well, the German visa checklist is very descriptive to say that they do not accept an MOI or an English waiver from the institution. It is only the IELTS that will be accepted, or the TOEFL.
Okay, so for the initial application, you need to have this IELTS scorecard with the documents.
So yes, so there we are a little bit flexible from an admissions procedure, because there we either ask you for the IELTS scorecard or the TOEFL scorecard, or if you have registered for the exam, we just need the registration to say that your exam is, let's say, on the 20th of June at 9 a.m. in the morning, and you are doing a paper based test, and so we know that your results will be in probably by, I would say, the 4th of July. So we either accept the registration, or we accept the uh, you know the IELTS or the TOEFL scorecard directly, but we don't accept any MOIs.
So, can you explain more about the career prospect of the Indian students in, business school?
Yeah, I think when I shed light upon the career aspects earlier, I think it was mainly focusing on Indian students, so to speak. When we talk about the career prospects in Germany, we're really looking at a good employment rate for students, a really good placement rate of approximately about 96%, which happens within the first 6 months after graduating. So there are obviously three aspects that every student looks at once they land in Germany. Personally speaking, I know of students who have done really well in these, or in all the three aspects. So one is a part-time job. Munich and Germany in general allow students to work part-time 20 hours per week. During the summer period, it can be 40 hours per week as well. So with students doing either their masters, MBA, or bachelors, they do get at least 15 to 20 hours per week where they can work part-time. The second thing is, this part-time job can really be, I would say, segregated into two categories. One is a student-friendly part-time job, wherein you're working for a fast food restaurant, or you're looking at Amazon logistics, or Amazon deliveries, or Uber deliveries for that matter. The second aspect, or the second category that students can look into, is really a student working contract, where we're looking at companies like Allianz, HP, Siemens, and students working 20
Very
hours on
much.
20 hours contract with these companies throughout their semester. The second aspect of the careers is your internship, because at the end of the program, students have about 3 to 4 months where they can focus on their thesis or their research paper. Now, at this time, students do not need to be on campus, every day. They have a meeting with their mentor probably once in 2 weeks, and they have time to actually, uh, you know, um, actually take up an internship, which is a proper working job for 40 hours per week. And of course, the third aspect is the internship getting converted to a full-time job, or them applying for full-time jobs and getting a full-time job, in Germany. Another
Okay.
advantage is that
Experience of
because,
person.
Yeah. No, just one point that I
What
want to
work
add is, are you able to
can
hear
you
me
hear me?
clearly? Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
breaking
yeah,
up.
clear.
Breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah, so just one point that I want to add, Amala, is that because we are also in the Schengen region, students with sponsorship can also apply to other countries around Europe as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is
Yes.
another question. Is
About the
experience
experience,
mandatory?
the experience is non-mandatory. So for MBA, we do not require work experience because we have a freshers MBA, and we also do not require the GMAT or the GRE exam.
So there is
Um,
another question in the chat box.
Yes, I see that. So, in terms of the tuition fee payment, what I can say is that, at least for EU Business School, once you apply for the program, we process your application, and then to confirm your seat, you pay what we call an advanced tuition fee, and that advanced tuition fee will be 3,200 euros. Now, when I was discussing the entire year tuition fee, the 3,000 euros is included in that amount. The 200 euro application fee is separate. And then before you have your visa appointment, if you are personally funding yourself, then you will need to pay a 2 semester tuition fee according to the German visa student checklist. Or if you've got a loan approved, then you can pay the first semester tuition fee to the institution, and you can show your loan documents. In my in my with my experience with the German consulate, they might come back to you even if you've applied for a loan and ask you to pay for the second semester tuition fee, but they've made it very clear in the checklist that if you are personally funding yourself, 2 semester tuition fees has to be paid, and for a loan, 1 semester tuition fee plus the advanced tuition fee, and then the rest of the amount can be shown in the loan.
Okay. Initially, the student need to pay 3,200 euro to block the
That's
seat. Right.
So 3,000 is part of the total tuition fee, as I mentioned, and 200 is the application.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, and is credit transfer possible from another EU-based B school for MBA? The credit
No.
extension?
Unfortunately,
No.
no. We do a credit transfer, a bachelor's program, but that is also not a full credit transfer in the sense, just in a way to speak, that if a student has completed their 1 year bachelor's in India, you cannot directly get admission into the second year into our bachelor's. It will be only a few courses which you will gain credits for. At an MBA level, we do not we do not have any credit transfers.
Another question from Minu George is there in chat box. Can you please explain on acceptable year gaps after studies?
Okay, so your gaps after studies, there are two types. There are many profiles that I've dealt with. When we say year gaps, we're really talking about students working working in a company, or they're working in a hotel. But if the year gaps is equivalent to you working, then we don't consider that as a gap. A gap is where a student has not done any work experience. But if you've got work experience, or you've got some sort of educational certificate or a training session that you've done, then yes, we can accept you. Also, in terms of age, some students do come to us with 15 years of work experience. So far, I would say we've been very successful in admitting and in gaining visa acceptance for a student which who was approximately about 50 years of age. So yes, up to 50 years, I think, is a fair enough age criteria from an acceptance perspective.
So you have talked about the hybrid mode of class. So till what
Correct.
time the student can take online from the home country if the visa got delayed?
Yes. So just to explain that in a little bit more detail, Amala, I think I didn't. I was really brushing upon it. But since you've addressed the question, I would like to go in detail with this answer. There are two forms of attending courses, if in case there is a visa delay. There is one which is online, which is basically our digital campus. So your professors in front of you on the laptop, all the other students are also attending through their own laptops and personal devices, and the class is happening online, right? What the good part about this is, if there is, like, let's say a group a group presentation or a group discussion that has to happen, it's easier because students are more I would say more flexible to text over WhatsApp, because everyone is in the same boat as the student, right? But the second option is basically a virtual classroom. So the virtual classroom is wherein classes are getting live streamed from Munich. So the professor is teaching students in real time in the class, and you're watching it through the camera that is positioned in the class. What happens in this case is that it becomes slightly difficult for students to coordinate with on campus students over WhatsApp if there is a group presentation or group project, right? Now in both cases, the good part is that in the virtual environment, students, if they get their visa, let's say in week 3, they can fly to Munich and continue classes directly on campus. In an online, that is a digital environment, students can still fly to Munich. They can still go onto campus, but the classes will have to be attended online until the end of the semester.
All right.
That's the real difference.
And
But I honestly feel like the online classes are much better for students to attend, because there's a lot more synchronization. You're talking to your professor directly, and yeah, it's a lot more. It's got a lot of advantages as compared to virtual. And in both the cases, you can fly to Munich. So it's not like we don't say that, okay, fine, you've got your visa, but you have to stay in India and you cannot fly to Europe. That is not what we do. If the student has
able to apply for master.
no, so for diploma, we have a very different approach. For the diploma program, if it's 10 years of education plus 3 years of diploma, then the student will have to go for the bachelor program.
So if it's in case of the 12, the student has completed the 12th grade and then he has taken a 3-year diploma, will he be considered for the master's?
If he has done the 10th grade and then 3 year diploma,
No, 10 plus 3-year diploma.
10 plus 2 plus diploma.
Yeah, 10 plus diploma.
Sorry, you're breaking up, Aman. I'm so sorry. Can you type it into the chat if there a student has complete 3 years diploma after plus two? No, 3 year diploma is not considered, will not be applicable for the masters after the plus two. Amla, can you repeat your question now that the camera is off?
The same question what Minu has asked.
No,
The
no,
same
no, it's
question.
not eligible. We would need
Okay.
3 years plus the 2 years, that's 12th grade, then the bachelor's in order to apply for the masters.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, very much.
Okay. And one more thing, apart from this, what all support you are given to the international students for the accommodation, any or any other things like that?
Yes. So, as I mentioned, we have three different accommodations that are located about 10 to 15 minutes away from our campus. And this accommodation has either shared accommodation, so you can share a room with someone else, and the student and the two students basically have their own bathroom and toilet, as well as their kitchenette. The second option is a private accommodation where students get everything to themselves, right from their from their washrooms, toilets to their in-suite kitchen as well. So definitely that is something that can be looked into. As I mentioned, Munich, we do have a few, in terms of the accommodation, there could be a few delays. So we do have agencies as well that help out. We've been working with these agencies for more than 10 years, and they can definitely assist and guide our students as well with accommodation options. If students manage to find accommodation on their own, we highly suggest that they get in touch with us before signing the contract or before making a payment, because there are a few fraudulent contracts as well that are going around.
All right. So about that University of Derby being master like MBA, so what certificate the student will get? Either the UC school or Derby document, I mean, a Derby certificate.
Sorry, you're breaking up again. I'm really sorry, I can't hear you. If you
One
can turn.
second. Let me. Am I audible now?
Yes, very much. Please go ahead.
So I'm asking about that University of Derby Masters.
Yes,
So after completing that, the student will get the University of Derby certificate or the EU Business School certificate.
it'll be the degree from University of Derby and a certification from EU Business School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Any other questions? So my final question is, so what makes this EU Business School different with other
So,
Germany?
can't hear you again. I'm really sorry. Hello? Hi.
Hi, Sharif. I think there is some issue with Amla's connection.
No problem, no problem. But thank you so much for having me, Aditya, Amala, for hosting this session. It's been a pleasure. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. And please do feel free to contact me. I'm available on LinkedIn. Amala and Aditya have my contact details. If you have any questions, I'm here to support and guide you. Thank you so
Great.
much to you
Thank
for
you, Shanice.
the session.
It
Thank you.
was
Have
really a nice and informative session. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. So anyway, I think the student will understand the importance and the uniqueness of the CU Business School. So soon, I think the nearest intake is there is an August intake, right?
October. Yeah, there's an
Masters,
August intake for
and
the bachelor students, and there's an October intake for the October for the masters or the MBA as well as bachelor. So I would suggest the next
okay,
intake for any student, be it bachelor's, masters, or MBA, definitely should be the October 2023 intake, and then we obviously have the 2024 intake. So we're really
okay,
excited to meet you in person. And yes, please feel free to connect with me or with uni experts at any given point in time.
sure, Shannon. Sure. Anyway, thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Have a great evening. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye. See you.
See you. Bye bye.